you want to play some quiet music in the background? That's always a good shout, isn't it?
Yeah, get some nice little tingling jazz.
Yeah.
Get some vibes going.
Yeah.
So basically, you got to join this this little box here. You see that I'm live, and if you actually,
what, me?
Oh yeah, all of you got to join this like stream that's running.
By the way,
it says live, and then you got to click on it, and then you'll join it, and then I'm gonna play some music. Have you joined, Adam?
I have, yeah.
Right, what have I done?
Can you hear any music coming out now?
Yes, big up Taylor Molly in the chat.
Can you hear music?
Is everyone okay?
Can't hear it.
So you see, so Mo, you see the other window that's popped up. If you click on that and just say watch stream, you'll then get the audio for it, and then you can go back to this, if that makes sense.
Who, me?
Oh, everyone, yeah.
We're like learning Discord live on air, like live on the internet.
Big up Declan, big up Denzel, big up Mandy. Mandy, get involved if you want, mate. Cool. All right. Anyway, big up everyone that's in the chat. Big up everyone that's tuned in.
Hello.
So for whoever don't know, myself, Ghost, and Peter, obviously, regular Watershed hosts, and we've got man like Mo and woman like Ama in the chat. Yeah, so we'll start with Ama. Introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, what you're about.
I am Ama. I'm a drum and bass DJ. I am also looking at producing as well. Hopefully to have something out soon.
Sick.
And yeah, just been sitting here with these guys, getting ready to chat the stuff.
Big up. What you producing?
Some drum and bass, like liquidy kind of stuff. I'm just sort of like wanting to sort of actually get into the studio with someone and maybe go through some of my music that I've done, and see what I could do to kind of fatten it up a bit. So I'm at that kind of stage.
Sick.
To,
Big up Run Things on the YouTube. Wicked. What about yourself, Mo? Let everyone know what you're about, who you are.
About. What am I about? So I'm Mo. I'm known as MOTA, drum and bass producer. I also run a record label called Inform Records. About like soulful drum and bass. How's it done? Basically ran a drum and bass night down in Portsmouth for quite a few years, about 12 years.
Right,
quite a lot of events.
Right,
that was great, you know, putting on loads of wicked nights. DJs were cheap. It was brilliant. It was a great era for doing B for me. Now I run a business, but I'm still trying to DJ on the side, and yeah, just feel like, you know, working with Watershed now.
Yep. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, just still keeping up.
So Mo's now doing our radio. He's taking that on board, and he's going to be pushing that. We're working really hard behind the scenes, both of us, despite being absolutely rammed. We're working really hard to get that launched in the next few weeks. So
it's coming together nicely.
So yeah, if you don't get your radio showing on time, Mo's going to be on your case.
Yeah, so that's me in a tiny little niche.
Sick. Anyone drinking tonight?
I'm on cheap Aldi lagers, which do I think
pick up the Aldi.
I left my drink downstairs. Getting
that seems like a mistake to me. I've got 1.5 litres of red wine. Absolutely.
Go get your drink.
Yeah, go get your drink, Amber. Come on.
Okay, I'll pause the screen.
Nah, you're alright.
We can pause it. We'll just all be really still and pause. We'll be on pause for the time you go downstairs. We can do that. I'm pretty sure.
Taylor Molly says surely Pete isn't drinking.
I'm not really drinking today, to be honest. I've got a beer. I'm not, unless anyone wants to do shots. Is anyone up for shots? We'll get the shots in. No.
I do actually have quite the shots that Red Bull sent.
I've got a beer. I'm not, unless anyone wants to do shots. Is anyone up for shots? Oh, I'm coming through there.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I do actually have quite.
I can hear myself.
Turn that off, man.
That's okay.
I could do a shot of wine.
I'm doing no shots.
Pick up the overview hat. Are these out yet, Pete? The overview hats?
I'm not here to kind of like just sell all my merch.
I am. New exclusive Goatshed t-shirts.
Go buy it.
Yeah, they're not even out yet, so you can't. But yeah, big up. So yeah, man, what do you want to chat about? We're all here. Let's chat. What's everyone feeling music-wise at the moment? Any new releases out? Everyone's feeling.
Yeah.
To be honest, I haven't really listened to that much. Tell you what, I really like this new Will Miles track that's out on In Perspective. Listen to quite a bit of this old footwork tunes that I haven't heard in a long time recently, to be honest. And some like Liquid Jungle. So I've not really been listening to new stuff.
Do you know what? I really love the footworky vibe. If anyone's got any like sick footwork artists and links to stuff, stick it in the comment, man, because I proper love that stuff. And
how has your label been going, man? Because you did take a bit of time off of Inform, am I right? Is that right?
Yeah, Inform. I took like 3 years off just because it got to a point where I was kind of like, working with some really nice acts, and then like, mate, you have to give it your all, otherwise it's not going to go as well as you want it to go. And to be honest, then I realised, like, I don't know, I fell out of love with it, to be honest, mate.
Right.
And I think that coincided with like the fact that events just started just to kind of fall apart completely. Like, we were booking some really good acts, like having like Friction with Darren Stone, and then having like Alex
Guest
Perez
now, mate. Guest
and
now.
then we were only literally breaking even, and it was just like, I don't know, I kind of fell out of love with the game, and I kind of got into footwork, something slightly like slightly different, backyardy, and
Footwork is a vibe. Aloon's a really good footwork DJ. She's got some really good
yeah, man. Her stay-at-home festival. Stay-at-home festival.
The wine's already hitting.
Absolutely slapped. It was sick.
Did you say so?
Yeah, really bigged that up.
Did you say which artist?
Loon.
Laloon.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think I heard that.
Yeah. She done a stay-at-home fest. She closed Friday night, and yeah, it was really, really sick. People were loving it. So yeah, big up to Laloon.
So obviously, Mo, you said you're now doing a footwork label. Are you still doing the liquid stuff as well, or is it just?
Yeah, well, the footwork label just kind of grew out of. We just did a little free night, and me and my housemate Squidge, Blue Screen, big up to Blue Screen. He basically just kind of got me into it, and then we thought, let's put on a little free night. Loads of people started turning up, and then thought, right, let's start a label, because all my mates around me were making it. So I was like, right, let's start a label.
Yeah.
And keep it just small, tight, people that we know. It's growing really nicely, actually. Really, really nicely, really organically. The people that I'm working with are wicked. I'm absolutely loving that. And I kind of then just resurrected Inform, just because I was started getting sent some nice tunes, and then I kind of started falling back in love with that again. So yeah, it's kind of all kind of running nicely at the moment. I know where I sit. Do you know what I mean? Because I've got a full-time job. I can't give it absolutely everything. So I know that it's digital releases and just giving young, aspiring artists a platform. Had like Roy Gwyn, Protone, Penny Giles, Subtle, all of those kind of release on the label. And they've all kind of gone on to do like amazing things. So I like to think that we're kind of that nice stepping board for some people, just to give them the opportunity.
So
I'm happy with that.
So if anyone wants to send any demos, hit up.
Yeah, get them in. I also want to give like I've had some females on board in last year. Big up Dashi, big up Lilac. So yeah, I want to give people an opportunity. And I like the fact where that label is. Our position.
Cool.
Speaking of opportunities, so fucking events, they're coming back. Events are coming home. You know, fucking, I'm jacked. I saw it when they announced that. I was buzzing for about 3 days, just at constant levels of excitement of just fucking this shit over with. And you know, I'm still ecstatic. I think there's definitely needs to be an air of caution, obviously with dates and stuff. But
100%.
you know, the light at the end of the tunnel was visible, you know, and fucking hell, I'm excited, man. Like,
I feel like
seeing
it could easily go a complete 360.
it could, mate. We don't talk about that here. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, no. We don't talk.
Good, you know, I mean, even if they go ahead, it's more. Will they allow the British citizens to go? Is more what I'm thinking. You know, whole situation at the moment. A lot of places aren't even allowing us in at the moment. You know, so are they going to think? You know, when things start going back to normal, are they going to think, oh yeah, cool, like England's going back to normal, everything's fine, or are they going to think, oh my god, gross, I'm spreading all corona everywhere?
Oh no, I think we'll be one of the only countries in Europe with like a fully vaccinated population.
Yeah, we are. You know,
It's 1/3 of adults so far, which is I think amazing. I mean, I accidentally got. I've got it. I've had the vaccine.
Both jabs or just the one?
Just the one. My GP fucked up and sent me the link for it, and I called them up and I said, like, what the hell are you doing? And they said, right, we've already processed you, so still come and get it done. So I was like, all right, obviously I'm 3 times more likely than you, Pete, and you, Slevin, die from it. Just because I'm black. Those are like official figures.
Did they say why? Did they say why?
It's to do with, like, you know, socio-economic reasons. It could be that, you know, more black people are porters and more people are, like, you know, that could be just, I don't know. I still don't know. I mean, like, my dad's a doctor, or he's a retired doctor, and some of his friends have died from it because they're like near retirement and then they just got ill.
I saw a lot of stuff and about vitamin D's role in the immune response to respiratory viruses and especially the coronavirus. And they find people with darker skin find it more difficult to absorb vitamin D from sunlight, and they reckon that could be a contributing factor to why some people with dark skin actually suffer more from it. They've done some study in the Philippines and they found like 98% of the deaths were vitamin D deficient or something. But you know,
but the whole UK's vitamin D deficient.
It is.
Yes.
I take regular supplements. Yeah, well, especially.
But the whole of the UK is vitamin D deficient. That's probably why
Maybe that's why we've done so badly as well. Well, I don't know.
I mean, you are, but like, it's we are. They're even thinking about putting vitamin D in our water to give everybody a like.
How was the jab for you though? Did you feel
You know what?
funny
It was
afterwards, or
absolutely
absolutely fine?
absolutely fine. I hate needles, but I knew what I was getting. It was something that's going to be. It's what's going to help us all get back to normality. Everybody gets this jab as soon as you're available, as soon as you're meant to get it. It just means that we go back to normality. Like, but all vaccines mean is step forward. You know, if we didn't have vaccine, we'd still be in the dark ages. Do you know what I'm saying? So any weirdness you've heard about vaccines can just all go to hell, in my opinion, because they're so like strict with allowing things like this to actually go like into production.
Well, I think that's actually a big problem in the drum and bass scene. Is you got your traumatics and whatever.
Problems in the drum and bass scene. We go in there already.
And
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I thought you weren't calling people out, Adam. You're already calling people out now.
Traumatic. Amma, what? Sorry, mate. I think you were trying to say something, but your mic's cutting out. What was you going to say?
Me?
Amma, I can't hear your mic.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can now. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh right, sorry. It's because
I actually learned the other day that I think it was in like the 1800s when they had a pandemic happen, and that at the time a lot of the population blamed electricity. They believed because obviously electricity was like a new invention, and it became a theory that it was actually the light bulbs and the electricity that was causing people to get sick. I mean, obviously that wasn't the case, but I think, there's that kind of like interesting, like
it was, they were saying the same thing.
New technology or, looking for a reason why this is happening, I guess.
They were saying the same thing then about, I think it was street lights that they were installing, that they were saying about 5G now. It's the same shit. Oh, it gives you this and it gives you that. It's just really bizarre how similar the shit. Nothing's changed in 150 years.
I don't understand some of those people, though. It's like,
I think what it is,
sending a message about 5G, sitting on their iPhone like 4G phone.
I know, like 5,000, like, do you know what I mean? And the Samsung S25 million, and all the bloody waves kicking off with their microwave and their smart TV, and they're like, oh god, I ain't getting that 5G, no way.
I think why it's gone up though. We're living in a time where people feel like they've got no control, and it's like a way of them coping. I think is trying to blame something for what's going on. I guess I don't know.
Blame the right people. Do you know what I mean? There's so many issues in there. We got one of the world's worst famines happening right now, and like humanitarian crisis in Yemen. No one's fucking talking about that. No one's talking about that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get all deep and stuff. Like,
I think it's headed that way.
Do what you want, mate. Talk about what you want. I mean, didn't Biden say he was gonna pull some sort of cooperation with Saudi Arabia? Aren't they the main financiers of the Yemen? They are the Yemen. Aren't they the ones? I don't know.
They are the ones of war.
UK, we're so complicit.
We sell them a lot of arms, don't we?
Well, it's money, isn't it? Money talks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I saw this article about how, now they're just trying to get ready for COVID, like on the streets in Yemen. And they've got like one hospital that can handle it, and they've got like 4, what they call the ventilator. What's the ventilator mean? Ventilation machine that they use.
I don't know. Respirator. I don't know, mate.
The name right out of my head. Yeah, that breathes for you. That machine that breathes for you. Anyway, they've got like 3 of them in the ventilators in the whole country. Like, their life is worth bad enough. Like, now COVID to fucking deal with.
Declan from the chat's just gone 17 minutes in, we're on 5G.
One of those shows.
Yeah, it's one of those shows.
It'll be alright.
And that's all good. Look, this is just about people just having a chat, like, and
man.
Cool, man. Let's discuss it.
One thing actually, Robin, I'm just gonna say something. One thing that I've recently been looking at is impartiality. So like making sure that I actually get my news from I don't say I'm going to look at the right stuff, but like just be aware of what news sources I'm looking at are the right or which are too far to the left. Because I don't like the too far to the left. I'm a lefty, but I don't like the extreme left. So it's like finding that nice centrist left view.
But apparently centrist is an issue now. I've seen a lot of anti-centrist people out there.
Anti-people for everything.
People get really angry about centrists. I can't remember why. It's just, they don't do anything. Apparently they don't stand for anything. I was like, that's not true. I would
I don't know about you, but I think that's what upsets me when I like see so much beef within music. It's like music's meant to be this kind of thing.
I would say music is mostly left. I would say it's a left-leaning industry. It's very, I would say. I think a lot of creatives are very introspective people. They've got a lot of think, and I think people that think a lot are generally lean to the left. Would you agree? I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I mean, like most of people, I don't know if it's just because it's like like my own tunnel vision, but like on my Twitter, I've got like people like Doc Scott constantly, beating that same drum about all the fucking bullshit that's going on in our country with the politics and in America. So yeah, I do think there's some people who are very vocal about their political views, and it's always leaning to the left.
Yeah, politics is one of those things, isn't it? Should probably avoid it.
Stay away from politics and stay away from
Mo, mate, come on, it's been 10 minutes. Playing that. So, what do we think the summer? What do you think? Obviously, rollers have been dominating like D&B for a while. I'm going on it. I'm doing it. What do we? No, obviously, things have been all online, and obviously, Watershed's been a big part of that. But it's not really how music, usually is consumed. Do you think now that things are going to return to the sound system, let's say, do you think music will maybe take another turn, maybe go more low-endy? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're going to be seeing a continuation of what we've had, or do you think there's going to be a bit of a shift? Anyone?
I think it's just people are going to have so much energy.
Come on, Neymar. What we've got?
What do you think, anyone?
Just for a bit with some rollers, because you've got to think as well, like now that nightlife is going to start regenerating and coming back, there's going to be like a backlog of tunes that people have been live streaming and playing from home that they're going to want to hear on a loud system, so they're going to want to get that out of their system before
that's true.
I hope you're right. I do hope you're right.
Yeah.
Overview's got bangers, bruv, that need to be played.
Well, we released like most of our good music like with no parties, and I'm hoping that people don't forget about it, because that's the worry. I'm like, because everyone just wants the next thing. But it's interesting to see.
Over who?
People would want to hear on the big system. You know what I mean? There's some tunes that you just know. Like, oh my god, this would sound banging on a big system. Especially, you know what I mean? Especially if you've got a nice little setup yourself, and you'd be like, oh, this needs big.
Is that what you're going to plan for your set then, going forward, Amma? Is that like you're going to play the tunes from you've been hearing from lockdown? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, literally, it's like I did like a sit down event in Bristol, shut down. Big up. It was crazy, like trying to fit all these tunes that I've been like, playing on live streams and thinking, oh, this one's good, that one's good. Oh, I like this one. It was like trying to cram like a year worth of tunes into a set. It was madness. Like, and an hour's just not enough. Like, I honestly feel like DJs are going to struggle with an hour, like going, for the first, there's so many tunes that come out through lockdown. People are just going to be dying. An hour's not enough.
I've seen loads of artists saying they've purposely not released anything either, just because they didn't want to. So I think it's going to be mad selection, man. But I think then it's going to make it super competitive, like in terms of what's actually going to get played. Like you said, there's only a certain amount of time in a set, so it's going to become really high quality, maybe like the music we're hearing. It's interesting. But the events popping up. They're just the scale of the big fucking beach events, peer events, festivals. It's crazy the variety that's popping up. I think there's going to be. Do you think there's? Honestly, I think is purchasing power at the moment. But do you think maybe there might be a bit too much going into like toward the end of the year? Do you think there's going to be a bit saturated with what's available, and then become more difficult again because everyone's so torn between events to go to? I don't know. Just an idea.
Things are going to be selling out.
Sorry, go on. What were you going to say?
No, it's all right. You can go on.
Well, I was just going to make a point about like hospitality in that's just just came on sale right now. That's sold out straight away.
Yeah,
Literally.
but that's one of the first things, and it's hospital. Like it's.
Yeah, I know, but I think there's going to be, everybody's going to be clamoring for dates, and there's only going to be so many dates available in the short, to try and get, because you want to get maximum amount of people there as well. And I think, I'm not going to lie, like once things go back to normal, everyone's going to be like, I want to go out to every fucking night possible. As soon as after a few months, I guarantee things will probably just calm down a little bit, and then it'll just kind of probably just end up going back to how normal it was, to try and make sure that you get the promotions right and you get people into your life. Honestly, think it's not going to be like.
Did you see what Degs put?
Relentless night every single weekend for 6 months straight.
Did you see what Degs put about someone who hasn't spoke to him since before lockdown? Just like,
yeah, mate. Fuck it.
Honestly, what is wrong with people?
I can't wait to do events again and that to start happening as well.
Like, got to guess this, shouldn't it? You know what I mean?
Like,
I mean,
do you not have a soul? Do you not have feelings? Do you not have a conscience?
No.
I
don't think even people were thinking, people don't even think at the best of times, I'm sure he was getting this before lockdown, people just have no shame. It's probably a thing of oh yeah, shit, gigs are back on, just go and hit up my guy Degs again, see what he's saying. He's normally about with the ticket. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie, I was actually one of those people that have actually I'm trying to get guest lists. I'm trying to get a wristband from him. So Andy, if you are watching this, please answer my messages. No, to be fair, me and Andy are actually quite good friends, and I have seen him. I've spoken to him a bit. I'm not like.
You better not have seen him, mate, because that would be illegal.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. No.
Absolutely not. Who's going to hospitality? I know you are, Emma. I know you are, Pete.
Yeah.
Mo?
He didn't get a ticket. It sold out. He went to get one.
Yeah,
you just played yourself.
I had 6 in my basket, and then I had a Zoom video call to work. And I went back to it, and it fucking sold out.
No.
Everything.
The thing is, everyone was saying it sold out. Because I saw someone buy them, and then I didn't bother looking at it for a few hours, and I thought, I'm just going to buy a Sunday ticket. I've got no one to go with. But I'll just go. And there were tickets available. They weren't even the last tier, and that was in the afternoon. So
it was a mad lineup though. Tell us a little bit about that then, Emma. You got you're obviously playing. You're playing Hospitality in the Woods. That's amazing.
Yeah, mental. It's crazy. It's it's all a bit of shock to me really. I only really found out I was playing sort of a few weeks ago. So it was all sort of oh wow, How
did that come about? Did they approach you or?
Yeah, just through an email.
Sick.
An email from one of the promoters at Hospitality, and and asked if I wanted to play. Told me all the terms, and I accepted. Yeah, I mean it's I mean it's a lot because it's it's a lot sort of happening last year and this year, and there's a lot of things around having sort of female artists on lineups, and I feel like Outlook have done that this year with sort of including a lot of females. It's it's a bit I sort of sometimes think is it a case of I'm an example of we are trying to change. This is what we're doing. Look, we've put this black female DJ on the hospital stage. I mean, here she is. Do you know what I mean? We're doing our part now.
Filling the quota kind of thing.
Yeah, but you know what? I hate that, man. And I think.
But what about for pos discrimination? I mean, I know that's obviously a term that is used in some respects.
I think you can only look at it. You can only look at it as a positive.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Even if it is that,
you can. I mean, sorry, you're saying how you can feel about it. You're saying,
Yeah. 100%. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've definitely felt like that quite a lot of times in my life. I'm not gonna lie. But I constantly just have to keep.
It's funny. Hello.
Yeah, we lost you, Mo.
Oh, he's back. No, he's back.
He's borrowed Disruptor's internet.
I lost all you lot.
No, we got. Well, so Mo, you said you've had it happen to you before. Then you sort of like feel that you're like. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Like I've been like the only black kid in my school. I've like been the only black guy in my office. I've been the only black guy in the kitchen. I've been like the only black guy in quite a lot of different scenarios.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't bother me at all. Obviously, just growing up with it. Like, I've also like felt like I've never really had like really fight for my place too much. I've always been around some really fucking sound people. So like, whenever I've had any job interviews, I think I've got the job because of merit. Like, not because. But the thought in my head is like, are they just filling that quota? Do you know what I'm saying? So, but I like to think that no, I've got that job because of merit, you know, because of like.
I mean, I feel like in life in general, I feel like, you know, me as a black person has always sort of got to work a little bit harder to kind of show that it's not like, you know, it just in general, you know, getting a job, it's like you need more diversity. You walk into the job, you're like the only black person. You know what I mean? There's a Chinese person in the corner and some Indian guy, you know, back there, you know, doing some stuff, and you're like, okay, so obviously they need to just, you know, make it look like they're doing some shit. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like you've got to work it really hard, because if you don't, it's like, you know, you're only really here because of one thing. So it's like if you go, there's plenty of other black people queuing up for this job. So it's better, you know.
Do you have? Sorry to interrupt you. Do you have any, like, obviously you guys have both said that this is something that you feel in certain situations. Is there any advice you can say to people, even like myself and Pete, who are white and run these brands? What do you feel is the best way to go about trying to be as inclusive as possible, but not make people feel like a quota and things like that?
Yeah, that's a
It's a tough one. It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one.
Well, I don't know, maybe, I've never really been one. I've not really been one to preach. I just expect the same kind of respect I give to people. So I never feel like that I shouldn't have to remind people to not be kind of like institutionally racist without thinking. So it's just, you know, respect, you know, your craft, because at the end of the day, you think, what is drum and bass? It's black culture. It comes from black culture. It comes from jungle. You know, and there's been some amazing, unbelievable white producers that have, you know, or, you know, DJs, artists, anyone who's involved in the scene have contributed to make it what it is. But like, just remember
the roots.
The root of where it came from, yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of decent black DJs making and producers making some amazing stuff. Get them on the list.
I think it's about being maybe shown this stuff. Maybe there isn't so much knowledge of it. Maybe because I don't know. It's difficult. I've always felt that for me, it's about picking who's right for the job, and it's as simple as that. And I've always gone down that route.
Yeah.
It is about that. But some people don't even get the foot through the door, though.
That's it, but it's about helping them, I guess, helping people get through the door who maybe haven't had this. It goes back to that, doesn't it? That
you look at your life as well, and you can see, you know, I mean, especially in the scene, there's a lot of newcomers who are sort of black or mixed race, you know, who are sort of smashing it that you don't really see on lineups, you know, but you see them like releasing music left, right, and centre. But, you know, and sort of look at your lineups, and even, you know, if you're sort of seeing that there's a bit of a difference, you know, there's, you know, more males and more women, more black people, more white people than black people. It's like, you know, sort of, you know, try and include more. I mean, because I know it's so quick to be like, oh, this person's good, this person's good, this person's good, and there isn't enough black people out there. We don't know who they are. Like, you know, they're out there. Do you know what I mean? You know, they're out there. You know, go and do some research. Go and like have a little look and see what's out there, and like, you know, include them in your lineups. And you know,
if not, if you're still stuck, then, you know, maybe reach out to the black-owned label owners that are out there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just just do something, and rather than just thinking of like just bottom line, you know, like think about how we can make this scene again more inclusive and back to just a bit more of a peaceful place. So I don't know about you, I'm getting a bit tired of all this drama, man.
I think the drama. Well, actually, well, no. Say it. I was going to say I thought the drama had subsisted, but not really.
The drama seems. I just want to see a bit more positive.
What I was going to say is maybe about like how we kind of got into this place in a way where it became, obviously, say last year, it was probably the real like the watershed moment in a way where, you know, it was really brought to everybody's attention. You know, you had a big post, I think, talking about the equality of lineups with females, and then obviously, you know, the other incident, you know, that you had obviously involved, you know, hospital, and I think that it really became this very big, you know, it was brought to the forefront, I think, and obviously, I think since then there seems to have been some really positive action, but it's like it's shit that it got to that point in a way. Like it shouldn't have had to have got to that in that way. And I think that's, you know, I think that's the interesting thing, and I think that's the thing we want to kind of see is obviously not.
I think jump bass
like,
has been massive.
So I was gonna say, so not that it's just like a, not I don't know what the exact correct term is, but like a gesture. Do you know what I mean? Like it really needs to be like not just for here and now, and you know. And actually it be something going ahead for the future, and that's maybe what brands have got to kind of commit to. You know,
there's quite a few people in the chat that there's quite a few people in the chat that are being quite vocal, so I'd like to put out, maybe take a couple of questions and see if anyone's got any questions to ask. So if anyone's got any questions,
I want to ask you, do you think that drum and bass? Obviously, they talk a lot about the gentrification of drum and bass. I mean, what is your opinions on that? Not yours, Adam. Shut up. You guys.
I'd quite like to say something on that because I was about to. No, because I don't want to sound like a fucking boomer here, like, and I know a lot of people go, "Okay, boomer," but when I used to go raving, drum and bass used to be proper ghetto music. People used to, and people used to get stabbed. And I've been at raves of guns have been pulled, and obviously that's not good. And I'm glad that we're at a space where drum and bass is a lot more inclusive, a lot more fun. But I do think that drum and bass in general has grown from this really underground culture to it's like really like a quite commercial music now in terms of the UK especially, and New Zealand and other places. So I think there is this like maybe culture clash going on between the two sides. I don't know if anyone's thoughts on that are. Maybe
I still feel like drum and bass is still like the bastard child of dance music. I like that. I like the fact that it's never like, I think it's still even hit the heights of like what dubstep did.
Yeah, no, I still think it's still got that underground kind of attachment to it, hasn't it?
It hasn't reached the worldwide.
No,
it's getting there though. I think it's on.
Yeah, you know, I think there is a big side of the scene that obviously it has become like, you know, you've got the likes of Sony, you know, coming in and working with some of these big acts, and you know, obviously the gentrification of the genre, I think, has become more of a prevalent issue that people obviously have, you know, taken issue with. Where that sort of goes from, and if that is gonna, you know, change now. I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to like it's a difficult.
No, you don't need to. No, it's I'll just say from where I see it, I kind of just it's kind of gone round on itself. So when I got into it, it was like 2006. You know, I went to see Friction, Mampy Swift. Who else was it?
Big up Mampy.
Skibbo was on the mic, and it was down on the pier in Portsmouth, and Ronnie Sides hanging. It's like it was mostly like what I call jump, and It was a fucking great era. They're like the people who got into jungle were probably looking down on me, going, "Look at that fucking little young one. What is this music? This ain't jungle." I mean, and I feel like a little part of me, not all the time, but like inside sometimes goes, "Oh, a little younger. They don't." But I would just remember me back then. I just remember me back then and just trying.
Okay, Boomer.
We're all young. Do you know what I'm saying? We all love. And just because I might not feel it 100% at the moment, some of the stuff that's coming out like this, what's on the charts for me, like
There's always going to be pushback though from a different. There's always going to be that.
Yeah, of course. But there's plenty of other stuff that I like, so I'm not complaining.
I think drum and bass is so diverse, man. Like, there's so much. There's a drum and bass for every mood. There's a drum and bass for a fucking dingy 100 cat fucking bass bin room. There's drum and bass for a beach. There's drum and bass for when you're tired. There's drum and bass for when you want to fucking skank and there's a type of drum and bass for every moment. I feel. I don't know. People. I think it's a wicked music, man. I think.
Kenny for Regan's reading your mind, man. Just put in the chat. There's a lot of D&B in TV advertising these days.
Yeah.
There is a lot. I'm like, hey!
I need those guys to hit me up. Aldi, if you're watching, you can use some overview music if you want.
Like royalty money.
Yeah.
Royalty money.
You're paying a good amount for that. But it's crossing over a bit, isn't it?
I think man like Profile is joining in a second.
Wicked.
Carry on. I'm scared.
You're our leader, Adam.
Yeah, you're in charge here, Adam.
Oh, we're fucked then, aren't we?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Anyone heard a tune of the year already yet?
Tune in the... nah. I've said this, I think, on this
Clinical
podcast
and Ways, framed, definitely.
Mate, I would say Overview is probably my... I'm not saying this because we're mates and that you're here. I do think Overview is one of my favourite labels. Oh, here he is.
You have fucking flipped the game on its head. Not lying, man. You're a disruptor.
Hey, Adam.
You're an No, you are, mate. You're an industry disruptor.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's a great thing, mate. It's a great thing.
Are you there? Are you there, Clive?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. If you click on there should be like a camera icon somewhere to turn on your camera.
Bottom left, the little like teal blue.
Hang on.
I'm going to get a drink, so I'll be back in a moment.
Okay, mate.
I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Everyone's
running. Everyone's running away.
I'll just say hello. Sorry.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, bro? You good? All working?
Yeah, I've got it all working now.
Sick.
I'm looking somewhere else, but the camera's like.
It's all good, man. How you been?
Yeah, good. And we just moved. I've got to move to see you lot, so then I don't look like I'm looking too far up.
It's all right, mate. My eyes are all over the place.
Too many screens.
It's all good, man. So, mate, how you been? Like, I think we've been discussing events coming back. Like, are you excited for everything coming back?
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm trying to sort out. We're trying to sort out a 360 event in Bristol, and it's just like trying to sort lineups already. Like people moaning for a year about not working, and now you're trying to get them, and then they're all like, "Got something else," or "I want this month." You know what I mean? You're all being picky and thing after a year of crying. Now they're all like.
Hey, I had with an agent today saying, there's a high demand and all this. I'm like, oh, come on, man. It's like
well, there is though, because it's all just gone at once. Like the floodgates have opened, and now
guaranteed. Like everything could. What you're gonna trust Boris to be like, mate? Everything could be like, oh, you know what he's like. I'm proper positive. I definitely think things are coming back, but I think people need to maybe not
Well, we're already busy planning it all. We're already busy planning it all. Like,
everyone's so desperate to go out. They're just like, just going because it's the summer, innit? Everything's for the summer, and like a lot of the festivals are sold out. But it's not the fact that they've just gone right, we're on, and then they've sold out instantly. It's like they pretty much sold out from last year, but it was just whatever was left over. So as soon as they announced that they're back on, people have gone mad, bought the last few tickets and thinking that, oh, like as soon as you announce a rave, everyone's got to buy a ticket because it sells out. But
you know what? That's so true, man. Because one of my mates, she already had a ticket to this hospitality in the woods. She already had a ticket from some other previous hospitality event.
Oh yeah.
She can now go to this. So that's probably why they sold out.
They sell out quick because they've sold out from before. So they might have been about 20%, 25%. They've had to sell.
Boomtown tickets as well. They sold out. Like my mate messaged me like
instantly.
I was a bit like, I'm in a Nari, and then the next thing you know, they sold out. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but they sold out it was almost sold out from last year. So
yeah, exactly.
So as soon as they like, right, it's on now. I mean, because what they've got to go on is the fact that a lot of people didn't ask for refunds. So the ones that didn't refund, they've just reused the ticket, and the ones that refunded, that's the spare tickets they had to sell.
So maybe they had to sell like 10 tickets, sold out.
Yeah, so they probably had about 20 tickets, and that's it, sold out. And it makes it look like your rave's like the hottest rave to be at because it sold out in 2 minutes.
It does so quickly. But to be fair to Boomtown, it does normally sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it sells out anyway. But I mean, the way people are just seeing all of the festivals, they're like, there's nowhere to go, don't know what to do. It's like
that is true. Yeah, the 2 festivals to sell out instantly already had tickets.
And these are the same people that requested their refund. They're like, oh, it's not on now, I want a refund. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just sitting on the ticket.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's one of the. Oh, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Fuck knows. I was going to say something. Oh, mate, I'm
something about Boomtown, something about festivals.
Oh yeah, it's there. What was I going to say? Oh, I can't remember.
Festivals, Boomtown.
Can't remember. Someone else take over.
Have you got many bookings coming in then, Clive?
Yeah. I mean, like as well, just all the ones that were supposed to be from last year have come. Like, just
I remember now. I was going to say that. But I've been speaking to a lot of, especially clubs. A lot of them are fulfilling like events that have already been sort of planned and booked and have just been delayed. Yeah. So that's why I think it's like a super struggle to actually get things on because there's all these like backlog events. Backlog. So yeah, that's what.
So people are going to be burnt out by Christmas.
Well, I said this earlier. It might be a bit much, but because
people are going to be like, I'm done with raving. I've had enough. I don't want to rave.
People are fickle.
I want lockdown back.
People are fickle, mate. They're you know.
I miss lockdown.
Give it like a month or two, and it'll go back to the usual. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I might come." Do you know what I mean? It'll be like the typical.
Yeah. Well, no, because it's the summer.
It happened instantly for me. Like, I bought tickets to an event, and I was sort of like, you know, when she bought them, she's like, "Cool, we got 4 tickets," and I was thinking, "Oh God, like, what am I even going to wear?" Oh, I don't know if I want to go now.
It's weird.
People like, you know, lights, camera.
The thing is, though, people are going to go out and be tired by like 10 o'clock.
Well, this is what I was saying the other day. People have been sat on the sofa eating crisps like all year, and like now you want us to go and dance for like 10 hours. Like, how is that going to work?
People are going to be like. I was contemplating how am I going to like.
There's too many nights
at 1 in the morning.
Going on. We're never happy.
Human beings. As always,
I was thinking, how am I going to drive to a gig at 1 in the morning? I'm going to be full. I'm usually in bed by 10.
Bedtime's like 11. Fucking hell, that's late.
We get back in the swing of things, I imagine.
Yeah, I
get used to it. I'm just excited to hear all the music that I've made last year and hear it out.
I can't wait. Just, do you know what? Just from the social element, man. I loved Friday buzz. You know, like just getting ready to go out for a night out. You know, it's going to be a good one. Linking up with people, hearing some good music, after parties, sessions. Fucking, do you know what I'm saying? I just miss it.
Yeah, it'd be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, here we go.
Who's joining?
Is
this
Sudley?
Ah, Sudley. Man, like. Anyway.
No, oh, he's gone. He's not. He's like, nah, I'm not. Oh, he's back.
So we got CJ cut. Yeah, big up Sudley. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad. How's everyone?
Yeah, good man. Good. We're just chatting about. We're all just really excited about everything kind of going back to normal.
Yeah, mate, it's gonna be sick. We've got a lot of stuff planned with Goatshed and with High Rise. It's really exciting. I think everyone's in a much better wave. I don't know about everyone else, but the moment that we heard about the news, I instantly felt like so much more hopeful about this year, and honestly felt like just in my personal life and in my professional life, like everything just feels so much better now. And yeah, I'm really gassed.
I was buzzing, mate. I've just been. Cheers. Big up, everyone. Hold on.
Adam, what the fuck
Hold on. Let me get my.
How blue that is.
Hold on.
What's that? We got wine in a box.
Yeah, 1.5 litres, mate.
I've got half a coffee. There you go.
I've still got your like little stack from
What are you drinking?
Oh, you still got the Red Bull, Jay? You still got the Red You still got the Red Bull shit. Get it out. Oi, let's all cheers. Hey, everyone in the chat's cheers. Big up, everyone. Look, everyone's got their Red Bull stash. Big up, everyone.
Yeah, Bull stash.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what?
I'm
It's
saving
like,
for a festival.
This coconut one's not that great.
I don't mind it. Do you know what? The watermelon
I
ones,
like blue drink.
they didn't send the watermelon one, but if you come to one of our studios, they got it there. It's peg. It's proper.
I'm not really a watermelon fan, you know.
What's that? Really? No, do you know what? Watermelon flavour stuff can be a bit sickly, but the Red Bull one is not.
Yeah, if you can get it right.
Ain't paying for it. Down.
Mate, we get Red Bull send us fucking crates of it. It's just fucking piled up. But yeah, it's good, man. Honestly, though, I know I've said it in podcasts before. Like a lot. I mean, obviously, Mo, I know you really well. Amma, we've met a couple of times, but like Clive, we've never met, and you know, we have a chat, and there's so many people that I've kind of developed a relationship with in some level or another throughout this year. I've never met before. Like Pete, I've met once or twice for work. And it's just suddenly we've never met, have we? Suddenly, and it's like
have we not met?
We've never met, and it's like it's so weird. Like
that is weird.
I've got so many kind of new friends in the industry, and never met them. And it'll be interesting to kind of, and I think it's really as well transgress subgenres. Like everyone's kind of talked to everyone. And I think it'll be really interesting when we do get into a proper rave again, just to see everyone and just be like, hey, it's gonna be sick. I can't wait.
Yeah, I found myself being involved in more sort of the organisations that play the sort of more heavier side of drum and bass that were booking me for streams that I didn't think would book me before. Do you know what I mean? But it seemed like people were more open to just everything, all kind of drum and bass over the lockdown.
I am. Since lockdown, I've really appreciated just everything because I've had to. You know, I've always wanted to kind of be a platform for everyone. It's not about me. I've always said it's about the scene, and I enjoy. Like, I don't think there's a D&B out there that I don't enjoy anymore. I think I just love it all. Yeah. I'm desperate. I can't wait to hear it.
Because obviously when we done the first, the first one was a recording anyway, but.
Oh no! Shh.
That's all right. But then when we done the 360 ones, we've done two 360 ones. I've done one on my own, which was the very first one, I think. And then the two.
That's mate. I remember that you sent me an 11 gig video. I was like,
I know.
I was trying to download it on the day. I know.
Trying to do time and everything, but
we got it. We had to move you, didn't we? We put it on. You had to go.
Yeah, it was just getting my head around the whole streaming thing, innit? Like, was just mad at the time.
I was saying this though. That first stay at home was so much more difficult than the rest because no one knew how to stream, and so I had a team. Me and my guy Ollie had to call every single DJ, pre-book a test in, do a test, and teach everyone how to do it. But by the fourth one, it was actually really easy because everyone knew what to do. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of a really sick progression about it, which I think was cool.
Yeah,
The 360.
The first one, like both of them were good, but the first one, I think the response was really good from the first one that we done.
You've done that from Pirate, didn't you? Was that correct? Was it
we done that at Pirate Studio.
Yeah. What did you think of the Bristol studio? Was it all right?
Yeah, it's good. Nicky had some problems with the 3000s. I said because he's not using record box, it's like it started glitching, turning the machines off and kind of weird shit. Yeah.
Really? Is he not using record box?
No, he doesn't use record box.
I love record box, man. I think
I've told him to get on it for the last year.
Yeah, it's hard. But the thing is, when people make the transition, they don't go back. Like
it is, but it's just getting people just to fucking open the program. Like I've got a few friends that they just wouldn't refuse to do it.
I've got friends too. I'll come like vinyl. I ain't touching that.
I went from vinyl to vinyl tractor. And I just, the idea of CDJs didn't really interest me. And then when I kind of experienced record box, I was like, this is fucking amazing. This is like so good.
I came from tractor, using the time codes, and I liked that I was able to.
Yeah, me too.
Organize. Organize my steps and then play them, and I loved all that. And then when you come from like that and obviously CDJs back then before record box. I mean, it was chaos. I remember sort of like the first ever 1000s. I got like the Mark 1s, proper shit. Yeah. It takes about 10 minutes to load one track. You know what I mean? Like the CDs jumping and skipping, like everything's a bit of a nightmare. And it's just, and then record box comes out and it's like, wow, it's like tractor scratch, but on a USB, and it's loaded up really quickly, and you got all your
game changer, man. It was a game changer.
It was. The first person I ever saw use record box was Ed Russian Optical, like in Fabric, and I think this is I changed from vinyl years before that, but then it was on the CDJs, but I wasn't really enjoying like the sets on the CDJ because. With the vinyl, you could always like go to the point wherever you want. Yeah. Just like record box. You could do that with vinyl, but on the CDJ part, you could, unless you like,
it's a bit harder.
Edited the track. There was ways around it, but it was so long. Like,
that was another reason why CDJs were just done out here for me. Like,
it wasn't reliable.
I never got on with them, man. I never got on with them. I was all about the tractor, or I was just gonna play my vinyl set. Like, I just hate it.
I went from. I think I've done tractor CDs actually. It was Julian who runs the. You met Julian. You know Julian, don't you? Clive.
Yeah.
He's the one. I used to use his setup. He had the tractor CD, so I never actually used CDJs independent. I think I think I was actually at a house party with Gera and Stone and Visionobi actually years ago, and they had like just the old school CDJs, and it was a bit intimidating actually. It was a bit of a weird experience.
It is a bit intimidating.
Yeah. It was like,
did you guys? Go on, mate.
Oh man,
when
very
I first
intimidating.
Used the record box with the waveforms and everything on the days, that was like next level. I was like, "What's this?" He's like, "Oh, you need to get this, mate. It's fucking new thing from Pioneer." And I looked it all up. I was like, "Yeah, that is me. I'm moving to this."
What year is that? What year are you talking? What year did the record box come out?
It was
2009.
I reckon about
9.
Earlier. No, it's about 12.
2012.
I think. Yeah, I think it was about 2012 or 13, something like that. It was around then because I think that's when it came out. It just came out, but no one really knew about it. All the house guys were using it, and he knew about it, but I was like, got no idea. Looked it up.
Did you ever used to do that thing with the vinyl where you'd look at the groove and you'd see where, and you'd move the needle in the groove?
I'll be there, just like.
So you had to, looking at the grooves.
I used to pull off some mad, like, fucking shit.
In there, bang.
Yeah, you can. But I mean, to be honest, even now, I think you can do so much with. There was so much stuff that I've been Like Hype's been teaching me some stuff, like little tricks on the CDs that he still uses Serato. He uses Serato, but he only switched over to CDs, and then he showed me about like all the using the cue points like to do tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
and I was like playing about with it. I'm like, I might have to set it up like that so I can do little.
Mate, get on those cue points.
Live remixes and stuff of tunes. It's mad.
Yeah, I did. I got really kind of dependent on those hot cues. I don't anymore. I got like, I prepared this really cool set. It was like, I think it was like one of my sort of first international sort of sets abroad in Mallorca. I'd planned this 6 set, you know what I mean, with cue points, and I was going to be juggling some stuff around, and then like, they bring out some old like CDJs from like, the 1800s or something. I was literally like, wow, like no hot cues, no record box. It was like all the work I'd like been doing, like, put on this show. So in the end, I was literally just, mixing like I would in my bedroom. Like it was just, it was like all that work. And I was like, I need to stop depending on them bloody hot cues because they're ruining my life.
That's why sometimes I try not to delve too deep into things like that. Like I'll use like record box for what it's for, but I try not to like too much because I feel like I don't want to have to rely on it. You know what I mean? I don't want to become lazy. I feel like
sure.
I've got turntables and I've got my XDJs. I feel like I have more fun on my turntables. Full stop. Like, find it more just for me.
Vinyl is funner, but it's expensive, man. It's like
it's expensive. Like, what it's made me realise is I should stop buying just tunes because I kind of like them. I need to buy tunes because I fucking love them.
Yeah.
I only buy those tunes on vinyl because those ones I want to listen to countless times and never get sick of them because I fucking love them, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, those are going to be my vinyl tunes. And everything else, bang on MP3.
I just thought of a good idea. We should all go through a DJ horror story. What's everyone's like worst experience as a DJ at an event? Come on, Clive. You must. You're a seasoned pro.
Straight away.
I've had loads. Horror story. No, but you get the usual one. People spilling the drink on the C. I've had it. Someone spilt the drink on the CDJ and it just freaked out the CDJ. Whole thing just went fucked, and then I just had to play with one CDJ for the rest of the set because the CD was fucked.
I did that to Shimon. I spilled a fucking drink on Shimon's deck mid-track. Fucked it.
Usual one, stopping the wrong bet. That's happened a few times.
That was me.
I've done that loads of times. I've done that so
much. How you react is how you come back from that.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, oh.
I just laugh. I just pretend I'm drunk.
When I was a really young DJ, I was playing it for night. It was pretty busy actually, and I was a vinyl DJ. But I learned to headphone mix like first of all. So I used to always have my headphones on like this, and so I played "In for the Kill," I think it was, when that was out. I had it all on vinyl, and that was it. I fucking took the track off, but I didn't have it selected on the headphones. I was going through my vinyl bag, and as I popped up, everyone's going. And I'm like, what? And the needle had like just accumulated loads of dust, and so the track was just going. But for like 30 seconds while I wasn't paying attention, I was like so embarrassed, man.
That was like my live stream on Saturday. Nightmare.
What's that?
So, like just playing for half an hour. I didn't realise there was no audio.
Oh no!
Look at my bloody pain emojis. I'm just seeing no audio. I'm like, fuck's sake.
A similar story that you said, I turned up to a gig in East London. I think it was Hackney years ago. It was proper illegal. There was people doing like gear off the tables, who was smoking and that. And was it dubstep? I can't remember. I played quite a lot on footy then. But anyway, I turned up, and has anyone ever tried to mix on Vestax?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Vestax decks, man.
They do. What I'm saying, it's got to. It's not dark. Do you know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck is everything?
Everything moves. Like, there's no with Technics. It's got that smooth touch. With Vestax, it's like they're scratch tables. You like it was like it was proper messy, but whatever. It's what it is.
The mixes were crazy.
I've only learnt in lockdown that the CDJs that what the like the light on the jog on the wheel itself, like when it goes red and white, and I only realised what it does in lockdown the whole time.
I don't know what that means. So enlighten us.
Basically, when it's red, it means that's the active deck on the mixer. So you when it goes red, white, it's white, red. When they're white,
so the white
it means they're active, but they're not live on the mixer. And when it's red, it means it's the active channel.
Oi, I've actually got some new news.
Something you learn, something new every day.
Guys, the 3000s, DJ Kit was supposed to do me a video to post, and they haven't, so I'm just going to say it. So the 3000s has just had an update. You know where you put out the wrong USB and you have like a 4-bar loop? They've now made it so it loads the whole track. So if you pull out the wrong USB, it doesn't matter. He still plays the whole track.
Wow.
Yeah, which is
So
game changing.
That's something from Serato then.
That's
when it
game
goes into
changing.
Be honest,
Serato did that first.
they should have thought about that. They should have thought about that from the start. So
that was Serato done
You're
that.
saying Serato did it, and now Pioneer we'll have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Serato did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, it's not really that much. It's not like just make a memory of the whole track and do you know what I mean? It's not. It's,
Yeah, I think Serato could do it because Serato's on a PC, so you can load it on the laptop. Whereas the old 2000s didn't have a lot of processing power, so I don't think they could do it. Whereas the 3000s have decent chips in them. Yeah. But this is what Ratsy, who's my DJ Kit, he's saying that the 3000s come out pretty basic, but there's a lot of room for them to sort of update, and apparently they're just going to keep updating them with new features as time goes on. What they didn't want to do. Well, what he didn't want to do, I think what Pioneer didn't want to do is obviously Pioneer's club standards. You don't want to put a machine in a club that DJs don't know how to use. So I think that's why they've.
Yeah, you don't want to overcomplicate it.
Yeah. So they've started them off pretty similar, and they're going to slowly update and change them as they go to kind of bring in new features, which I think is quite clever, really.
Yeah, I mean, Apple have been doing it for years.
What's this? What's going on? You got any new music going out, Clive? You got any bits getting signed, or what's going on with you, mate?
I'm just kind of just waiting, really. I've got a lot of stuff. I think I've just taken something for players.
Sick.
And then I've got to finish an EP for Bio. And I've just got loads of tracks, but I'm just contemplating where to put them and when to put them out. And test them out. I've been playing them on streams, but I've not tested them. I've not heard them in a club. So
that's the problem, isn't it, man?
I kind of
it's so difficult.
I've got one on my label. Probably I was aiming for April release, but I might push it back because I've got one on a label from Replicant end of this month. So probably the end of April, I might just put out a little single just to keep me going till the summer.
Do you ever put out stuff just on your own? It's on your own Bandcamp or website?
Well, I've done like a dub pack thing on Christmas, and that probably made about 6 times more money than I've done.
Well, just put it out yourself, man. I think there's going to be a shift.
It's just the sometimes I put out stuff for more of a just your name, just have your name. It's not about the money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I put sign to a big, because when you sign things to big labels, you get less money than putting out yourself, but you get the little credentials and
you're part of that.
They're opened up to their audience, so that's why I'm kind of picky who I release with.
Yeah.
Ideally, if I had a tune,
you should be. The power.
If I had a track that, hospital. If I could get something on hospital at some point in time, that opens up to their audience, you know what I mean? And then not everybody, because I don't just make jump up, you know what I mean? I make all kind of stuff, but it's just everyone pinpoints me as a jump, because the most successful stuff I've put out has been jump up, but I've had little roller tunes.
Do you know what? I think a lot of people don't realise. They just don't even think about it. There's some people, there's some producers, they can make amazing other stuff. They can make, like floaty ambient music, probably. I've done with Fat Man. I've done a full vocal track
So we made it more like a song than a. Even with him, he's like not singing, but it's the way we format it. It's like a full song. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
rather
not just
than
like on a tune. We've put the bars at the beginning and just some beats. It's like I've had to properly construct it for him to write it in a way that it's a song. It's a full song. Do you know what I mean? So that was a good learning process as well.
Do you feel lockdown has what benefits would you say lockdown has given you? Is it giving you more time to work on different attributes of your music?
Yeah, to experiment a bit more in the studio. I think you're not under any pressure, because when you're out gigging week in week out, you kind of need some news, and you just kind of make I just want to make an intro tune for my set, and then you make a quick banger for the intro, and do you know what I mean? It goes off, and you kind of just put that out, and that's how it kind of always progresses. But if I want to get a bit more musical, I'm thinking, I haven't really got time to sort of take a risk and go in a big rave. Let me test this out do you know what I mean? Whereas the streams, you can play it on the stream and people might pick up on it. You can share it on your socials. Like, a lot of new DJs have emerged through lockdown.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Just by, some of them have only started DJing since the lockdown began.
Yeah.
And now they're getting bookings within a year.
Yeah.
It's worked for a lot of people.
Sorry, 2 seconds.
Yeah, man, I agree with that, and I don't think there shouldn't really be any malice really with that. I feel fucking full respect to you. If you can start DJing, start of lockdown, and you've nailed how to do a double drop, or you could do a whole hour without fucking up, or you could do you can mix and you can do all these kind of things that take some of us years.
Yeah. And a lot of them, I've noticed with the youngers, a lot of them, because they've had an audience from the beginning, whereas we would practice, in our bedroom by ourselves. They would be a bit more confident. Your mates would come round, and you build. But now they just like the confidence.
You've done some new things. You want to see?
Oh man, yeah.
Within a month, they're like, I've got a stream. I'm doing a stream, and they're ready to go. Do you know what I mean?
I think fucking fair play to him, man.
I think things are a lot easier to do that now, though. Like back in the day, and I'm still quite young. I'm only 32, but
I'm glad you think that's young.
Back when I was younger,
everyone calls me old, man.
How old you, Mo? 30.
33.
33. That's all right. You're all right. I'm 32. I think we're all.
Yeah.
24, mate.
Mate, this is the Boomer podcast, isn't it?
Back in the 90s, mate. Back in the 90s.
Everyone's like 19, I'm 19, I'm 20. You know what I mean? They're like little kids.
Yeah,
really.
I remember it was tough. It wasn't a case of in a way, it was kind of like it was harder. If you were in the scene, it was a lot easier to get gigs because there wasn't many people doing it. It was kind of like once you were in the scene, it was like, a lot easier to kind of get yourself bookings. But when you're not in the scene, trying to get yourself in there was a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
I still think that's a problem. I still think that's an issue. Like, there's so many people online streaming that don't get any views and stuff. I still think you need to have something special about you, even in an online world. To be and I'm not trying to be horrible there, but there is so many streams and so many people doing it, and they're all trying, and maybe one day they've got to learn to find their.
There's a couple that I've taken on, like sort of helping and like sort of not tutoring them because they know how to DJ themselves, but like giving them advice and the right thing to do. I think. For me, because I've done it for so long now, like I've established, and I never had that, like, because all the older guys, like, they were just concerned about themselves and they think they're going to DJ forever. They didn't want to let none of the youngers in. So that's why it took us so long to get to where we were. Whereas now, with the older lot, they're happy to share the do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think people know now the more healthy a scene is, the more healthy it is for everyone involved. Like, do you know
But
what I mean?
the gatekeepers aren't there as that they once were in a lot of respects. Like, especially more so now than ever. Like, you know, people were reliant on these guys to let them in the scene,
exactly,
whereas now you can just set yourself up a SoundCloud and a TikTok and or whatever.
That's the thing. There was a hierarchy before, and I don't think that's there anymore. But the guys that were the hierarchy are kind of still there.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, what everybody does now is like, okay, you're doing this, so I'm gonna do that, but on a way higher level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'll copy what the youngers are doing on a more, professional level.
You know what? I did my final year university project. It's called Rise of the Bedroom Producer. I did my my dissertation was all about it, and I did loads of research all about how you don't need to have a big fancy studio anymore, and you can just have your little setup at home, and you could do something, you could create something amazing. Yeah. Then I made a documentary featuring Bad Rabbit, as he was called back then, aka Foreign Concept. We went down to Brighton, filmed him do a set. I think it was called Fire Club. Is that right, Pete? On the seafront?
Called where? Sorry.
Fire? Is it called Fire?
Fire? No, Fire's in. You're not thinking of Life? Life? No.
Life. That's it. Yeah. I went to film The Critical Night, and it had Links as well, DJ Links.
Yeah, pick up Links.
And my friend Maka. If you guys have ever heard of a guy called Maka, he always makes tunes with Los Contreras. Check him out. He's been on Shogun and some really good labels as well. But anyway, they were all at different stages in their career. And I did a documentary. It's on YouTube. Check it out. Actually went to
drop a link in the chat.
Doing the research, really interesting.
Go down the right path, innit, really, in the scene, because that's what keeps the scene going. Because if they feel disheartened at a certain point and they stop, sometimes there's not people behind them that want to continue with the journey, kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's always. That's why it's always ticking over, because people come and go in the scene. They get older or they get interested in something else, and then there's always someone else to come in and just take the space, and that's what keeps the scene going.
I've not you feel good about the scene. There's some people that are coming through and they're smashing. You know what I mean? You got labels like Onyx, you got labels like Overview, you got labels like even Context, quite a few good mates of mine smashing the fucking game.
And the good thing
do you not think do you not think the pie's bigger? Do you not just think now there's just more room for people?
No, not at all.
No. Huh? You don't think so?
No.
Music industry has shrunk by half since the year 2000. The pie's not bigger.
It's not the pie's bigger. I think it's just that people can self kind of do everything themselves. Do
you not think there's more drum and bass listeners now than there was 10 years ago?
It's just more self run, I think. It's like hip hop. How big is hip hop Because there's artists I've never heard of, but they're selling 20 million or doing 20 million things, and I've never heard of them. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I don't delve into hip hop like that, like how I delve into drum and bass. If it's someone else might say, "Oh, have you checked out this person?" or I just randomly come across it, then yeah. But I think
I used to love hip hop, but it also I couldn't tell you anyone now that was in the charts.
I used to listen to this shit hip hop, man, the gangster rap bullshit, and when I listen to some of it now, I'm ashamed. If you listen to some of the DMX, it's so homophobic.
But I was into
love that shit.
A sort of chill, jazzy hip hop, and then up until I think the early sort of up until about 2010, really, hip hop was cool. And then when it started going a bit, just I don't know, just weird, not gangster rap, but even that trap stuff now, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. at all. But to the
I think that's in the UK. For me, I got really more into the UK hip.
For the kids, they love it. They love it. That's what they're into, isn't it? You know.
Man.
This really is the Boomer podcast. This really is the Boomer podcast.
It is.
You know, I love about music. You know, my whole my interest in music changed and shifted so much. 1 minute,
but I don't think that's down to them being old or whatever. I think it's influences, because all new music just kind of, if you listen to a lot of the new, even not drum and bass, but like hip hop or chart music, what they're sampling is stuff from like 2000. They're not even sampling going back to jazz or real old stuff. They're just sampling like a hit tune from like 2000 and just sampling that.
But if you think 2000, we're like in 2020 now, so like that's still like 20 years old. Do you know what I mean? If you think 20 years old in the 2000s,
yeah. Do
you guys love it? Do you guys love it when you?
I'll be back in a sec, guys. I'll be back in a sec.
If you go past 2000 and you think, oh fuck me, that's like war times to these.
In 2001, we were hearing samples that were 20 years old and thinking, oh god, yeah, this is old.
Oh man, don't say that. Oh,
and now it's
like the youngers might think that it's finger in black and white before 2000.
I was like listening to like, you know, older R&B tunes, thinking, wow, like, you know, this was such a hit back then, and now I listen to it and it sounds so like dated sounding. Do you know what I mean? And it's like a tune that,
I mean, it can work both ways, because the stuff that they're sampling, like let's say a 90s R&B tune that they've sampled, but then it makes people listen to 90s R&B and they're like, oh, I'm really into 90s R&B, and it's so funny to hear, but they're into it because they've heard a sample and then they've searched where that sample.
Do you know what? That's why I want to really have a man. You make a really good point, because I mean, like that's something that made me, when I like just clicked for me. And, like you shouldn't really hate on the almost like times of like commercialism of anything, because it's a good. I personally think it's a good thing. You know, the fact that artists like chasing status, like they got huge. Imagine how many people got into chasing status because not even knowing what drum and bass is. They just liked what they were making, and it made them go and listen to all their older stuff, the stuff they've like released on. Hey, I'm here.
Special guest.
Yeah. So yeah, like all the stuff they even released on maybe like Renegade. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's a great thing. It can only be a good thing just to get more people into it.
Yeah.
I didn't really like.
I think working with the youngers though, it gives you a motivation as well. Like that, it's not stale. Do you know what I mean? You don't get bored of it because it's something new. You're learning. You're teaching them old stuff, but they're teaching you new stuff. Do you know what I mean? And showing you how things work now. And it's like, okay, like you're kind of working together to.
To be fair, Clive, mate, I've seen you really push like the younger people, and even in our communication, like. Even when I'm trying to put Cuba saying, you're like, do you know what? I've got this person that I think you should put on that's doing really well. So like, yeah, man, you I definitely would back that you're definitely trying to help like the youngers come through. So
man, yeah, because I want to keep the music going. Like if we kind of, because a lot of people from when I grew up were really into it, and then because they couldn't get in or they couldn't get access to go further, they just gave up because they thought, what's the point? I'm working this hard and no one's giving me these opportunities, and you know, the few people that did get through have done really well, and like the other people just gave it up because they just thought it's too hard.
Mate, how
long have you been in the scene now, Clive? Out of interest.
Oh, forever. Like today, I had a Zoom call today with Black Market, all the shop, because Ray's writing a book about his career and whatever, Ray Keith, and like he said the big chapter in his life was the Black Market.
Sorry, I love how Ray. I love how Ray. He's so sick. Go on, mate. Sorry.
And it was like the memories of the shop, and he was talking about how everyone came through and all the people we helped back then, and like it's kind of lost that community thing because everyone's just doing their own thing now. and like it got really into camps and clicky, like, oh, we're doing this over there, we're doing this over there, and no one really communicates with each other anymore. And that's what I learned over the years until now, until the new generation. They're more like, they are clicky, but you know, if someone helps them, they'll embrace that person rather than, you know, their attitude is, if you don't help me, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I'll just steamroll over you and be above you at some point.
Yeah,
you know?
Ruthless. Which I think fair play.
Yeah,
ruthless. So you do think there's been a change in that way? Like, it has gone back round again? Like, it's not... I mean, is that one of the biggest things you would see now, like with D&B, where it's at in, you know, the last few years?
I think it's in a good place. Like, because it's like, well, this has been the weirdest year because this is the first year ever that I've not done any gigs but I've communicated with a lot of people more, just as much as I put out, and probably more. I probably communicate people that I wouldn't normally speak to out. But you know, and I've seen so much different things through the lockdown that it's made me be more open to things.
I think what we take for granted, isn't it?
Yeah. You do your gig, you go home. Like, now I'm hearing newer DJs and so many talented DJs, and I'm thinking, well, I've got a platform to. And I think a lot of the older guys are starting to like sort of embrace them, like Skibbity, and they're starting to do stuff where they're bringing through a lot of and showcasing a lot of younger DJs, you know what I mean, and producing.
Oh, I've been loving DJ Hype's dungeon videos.
Oh yeah.
Fucking they're so jokes. When he gets to pop it out. Oh mate.
Pop it. God. But yeah,
if you haven't seen it, go check it out. DJ Hype. Man, it's
like the GOAST things, and like, you know, that stay-at-home festival is a big thing for a lot of people, and a lot of people got involved. And
I had people message me
saying
that they're only still here today because of stay-at-home festival, and that sort of message, man, was just like, how do you process that? It's mental. Like, I think I never, you know, when you start something like this, whole goat shit, you never think you're gonna have that important impact on, you know, I never thought a pandemic would happen and you know, streams would be the only thing that people would have. It's definitely been a very...
Well, you're one of the only like online organisations that I know that to have self at risk doing it. Like, and it was really hard because they were very selective who they had on a certain station. And like, yeah, now it's just, you know, more. I just embrace using everybody really to just make the scene big, keep it going.
I've said.
I feel like it's a good way to really spot out real talent as well. Because like, I think sometimes, you know, when you're in a certain area, you know, before kind of social media became like what it is now, like, you know, it would be a case of who you know, and it might be a case of you didn't, you know, you might be a promoter that wanted a load of residents that had a load of mates that weren't really that great, that would just sort of get on, and there's a load of talented people kind of sat there thinking, you know, how did that person get there, you know, what can I do to get there, and like, you know, forever trying to do that networking to get into the scene. But now it's like you can literally put a 10-second video up of what you do, you know, on a weekly basis, and get people to get to know who you are. So
and who could argue that that's a bad thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Who could really argue that that's a bad thing?
No, it's not. It's not a bad thing at all. They're very clever in the way they promote themselves, because they know, it's like they kind of know who to sort of hit up. Like, what they've been doing lately is they've been been playing my tunes in their mixes and tagging me in it, because they know I'll repost it. If I repost it, that's going to expose it to so many people. Then people be like, "Who's that?"
That's what, like, people get thousands of pounds for social media strategies. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what social strategists do. That's the kind of ideas the young kids coming up with. Have such a good understanding of this era and the tools they've got at their disposal, and how to market themselves. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what social media is like.
That's what it's all about. It's all about having
how to actually market yourself and make you give you almost some like digital worth. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking, you know, like.
Well, that's what it's there for, isn't it? It's there to sort of give yourself a platform to. I mean, even TikTok now, a lot of people are getting big off the back of TikTok.
Yeah, there's a kid who's got a record deal off the back of TikTok.
Who has?
Some guy. I think it's like the English version of fucking like Justin. Not what's his name?
Justin Bieber.
What's his name? Who's that guy who Usher found? What's his name?
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
That's it. English Justin
Okay,
Bieber.
Boomer. Fucking hell, you are really Usher on your age today, Mo.
Hey, all I know about, I don't give a fuck about his name, but I just know that Usher found. Yeah, he said like the English Justin Bieber. He got found on TikTok. Like he was just doing like little videos on TikTok. Now he's got a proper record contract.
Wow.
I think that's mad. That's mad.
Maybe the next big thing in D&B is going to come out of TikTok. The next Andy C will be one of the TikTok DJs.
Yeah. Hey, if they're doing like,
all it takes is someone to just push themselves on social. Get a lot of, I mean, like loads of examples. That Aaron Kraskell, I mean, he DJ'd before. He wasn't a professional DJ, but he's getting bookings now because of his social media. But you know, that social media is his work. He makes a living off that, off his comedy and whatever. But you know, someone can just live just making videos. That's like, good luck to him.
I think also like some of my really good mates that I met like through university and stuff, like they were some of the best DJs. Still, I'll put my hands up to say some of the best DJs I've seen. Like, you know, it made me realise there must be so many other unbelievable good DJs out there, just because they're not those kind of people to promote themselves on social media or whatever. They just will never get hurt.
I think it's about how you market yourself. But how you market yourself, it's all about marketing in anything. It's the thing is, you know, you could open a shop and sell cakes, and it could be the best cakes in the world. But if nobody knows that it's there, like,
no one knows about
100%.
You know, all it takes is like one celebrity cake and plug it, and then millions of people go to that shop, and then your business just goes mad. You know what I mean? So it's pretty much the same as take one person to endorse that other person, and then that's it. They just, you know, get up.
How do you feel it's sort of going in terms of like with like followers on social media? Do you feel like that part of it? Because I feel like since, you know, following's become sort of a thing, I feel like more followers you have, the more bookings you'll get, whether you've released music, whether you're...
I don't know. That's down to the promoters, isn't it? If they feel that...
Honestly, can you hear it? Is that coming through?
Yeah.
But I don't fucking matter, man, about followers. It's about... Look, I learned this early on. Like, we put out a fucking meme video of a goat drinking beer. It got 4.5 million views, and we gained 3,000 followers from the Middle East. And none of those people interacted with our posts, and all of our interaction and engagement just tanked for about 3 months because of it. Because, you know, and so like, and so it doesn't matter how many followers you've got. It honestly doesn't.
It depends on the quality of your followers. Because although if you were to grow organically those followers and have those people on your page, you're talking about an exceptional example, like of a meme video.
I'm saying. That's literally what I'm saying. So like, you know, it's about the engagement of those followers. So, and you can see that if someone goes live and they get 5 viewers, you know that they've got 40,000 followers. You know it's bullshit. You know it's not about. I think promoters know who's hot and who's not. Like just from like.
It is a perception thing, though, isn't it? You can't not look at it. You know, we're all guilty of it. You know, looking at the amount of streams that you get on a track or the amount of likes that you get on a post. It's like a validation.
I think that's more believable than just followers. I think followers are easily made and they're not always legit. I think like when you put content out and you're getting like actual views and followers. I mean, obviously there's going to be changes to all the rules. But I think as a promoter, like your scene, you know who you're booking, and I think it goes more in like if a promoter's just booking people by how many followers they've got, I don't think they're going to do very well.
Yeah, it's down to I don't know how it's going to work.
It's
in
tough.
the new, we'll see anyway when it's back.
Yeah, because
to see how it comes.
a lot of these newcomers, I mean, that's all they've got to go by because they haven't really played they haven't played out live. They haven't. So literally, a lot of people will be counting on their following to get them bookings and counting on the sort of work they've done creating their fan base.
100%,
and
I do think you're following. I just meant in terms of those numbers, like they can be quite misleading. And I think.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, no, I'm definitely your online following is a massive part. That's not what I meant. It's just,
well, I've just looked today on Facebook.
Yeah, but even still,
it says that when you know, like your fan page, if you put likes and followers, like it says it's better to have followers than likes because the followers actually see all of whatever you post. Right. That's what they see. Yes, and if you've got like more likes, they don't necessarily see what you're posting. Okay. Right. Yeah, so it's better to switch it and have followers.
GOATSHED's got 27,000 likes, 40-odd thousand followers.
Yeah,
and that's
so
a good way.
They're saying, because you can actually change Facebook now to you can change it to just have followers and not have any likes on it. Right. On the fan page.
I didn't know that.
Just followers. If you look at a couple of like Skibbity's page and stuff, it's got how many he's following. Like Instagram, they've changed it now. You can have how many you're following and how many following you, but no likes. There's no likes on it because they
almost like the same. You're just replacing it with the same but different,
and that's it. But they don't get any of the engagement or the content.
Social media school with GOATSHED right now.
Yeah, man. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up in a minute. My daughter's getting this won't be our bedtime. Has anyone got any last any bits they want to say before we go off? Any self-promotion, anything that's coming on? Like, what do people want to talk about?
I've got lots of music coming out this year. That's it. Really?
Keep a watch. Go follow Profile's page. Don't like it. Don't like it. Go follow it.
Don't like it. Just follow it. Just follow the page.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, follow all this. Follow me. I've got a few. I've got a mix coming out on data transmission soon. I will be sending that into them soon, and have a few awesome announcements coming up as well. That people coming up in the next few weeks. So yeah, it's exciting time.
Sick. Well.
And you, Mo? What about you, Mo? Have you got anything coming? Anything coming you want to tell us about? Or you're allowed to tell us about?
We've got a new bit coming out right now from a good friend of mine in Manchester called Channel. So check that out on the Inform Records page. And I've got a very naughty one coming out, like a jungly footwork tune coming out by Full Tooth and Harker as well. Very naughty, very naughty. Which I'm kind of almost feel like I should hold out to clubs a little bit because it's a proper clubby one. And not, but yeah, no, we've got some exciting stuff. So Inform Records, Reform Music, check it out. Check everyone else out, and make sure you stick with GOATSHED because we've got some radio station coming soon. Amma, we want to get you on as well.
Yeah, I've already spoke to Amma.
I've
already spoke to Amma.
Getting you on.
Trust me, GOATSHED Radio is launching soon. We've been working on it. We're going to make it the thickest DMB radio there is.
I'll be in touch with both of you. Our
5-year plan is to go dab, and we want to make it a really big thing.
Watch out, BBC Radio 1, basically.
Yeah, man.
Fuck them.
But no, why not? I love live streams really serve a purpose, and I think they're great. It'd be stupid of us not to do them, but I think.
Well, it needs. The radio itself is kind of dying now because of And like now they've got all the shows on. You're starting to put podcasts on Spotify. It's actually killing radio off.
So
but I still think there's still a space for radio in terms of it's like you can either listen to it live or you can go listen to it on SoundCloud, Mixcloud.
Yeah,
I like that. I listen to radio during the day when I'm working. Go through SWU in Bristol in the mornings. I go put Radio 6. I love it when they play a little bit of like old school Bookham and and just all that kind of stuff. And then I might put in a bit of Talk Sport, a bit of fucking a little bit of a bit of everything. But then I'll sometimes go and listen to radio shows I've missed on Spotify, on SoundCloud, and so on. So
our radio is going to be like a new type of radio. We're going to have a lot of podcasts on there. We're going to link it with our Mixcloud streaming. We're going to have, it's going to be a new age thing. We're going to put loads of stuff on Spotify, loads of stuff on SoundCloud. So it's not going to be a typical radio. But I still think having that 24-hour broadcasting thing that people could just fucking turn on, and it's got some sick tunes on, and the dynamic.
I'll picture a new like me, Mampy, Swift, Degs. There's a few of us are in a little WhatsApp group, and it's basically our little football. We just talk football and loads of shit, and we need to make a podcast of us talking about football, like
boys, please do that. Hit me up afterwards, Clive. I'll help you get everything going. I would love to hear that, honestly.
I'm going to talk to the boys about it because we've been saying we want to do it. We want to get it rolling anyway.
Yeah, man. I'd love to hear you guys chat about football. There's not enough football podcasts.
Especially Degs on it as well. He's got.
Oh mate, he's a Newcastle fan, right?
Yeah, he's just gonna.
We just go at each other every weekend. We just go at each other like our teams. I'm Liverpool, like Swift's Liverpool. We've got Ragga Twins, that's Liverpool. Riders, he's West Ham. Degs is Newcastle. A couple of Man United supporters in there, a couple of Arsenal supporters, and it's mad. It's
honestly think that would be brilliant,
mate.
That'd be brilliant because another good podcast is the Hey Brother podcast, the one with Galaxy, Visionobi, and I can't remember who else was in it. But anyway, they had SPMC for the first one. And then they've got Degs for the second one. Really good chat. I think I like that when people.
What's that called? Sorry.
I think it's called Hey Brother podcast. Let me double check.
Right.
It's on Spotify.
Right. Okay.
No, the Amen Brother.
Amen Brother podcast. Okay.
I was that on Apple.
Well,
there we go.
That's
Amen Brother. Check it out. It's really good. Really good.
On that night.
Sorry? You off to bed?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up anyway. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming on today's show. And
man. Reach out to us, mate. We're definitely interested.
Yeah, you got my hit me up on Facebook or whatever, innit? Just shout me, man. We'll get that
tomorrow, bro. Yeah, 100%. That's what we're looking for. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be new age radio, man. It's just
new age, bro. New age.
Alright, nice one.
Alright, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.